I think the greatest challenge is how to make money. I think that everything is squeezed. There is probably too much capacity in many types of printing, and therefore our customers are getting squeezed as people go out and try to do bids to try to reduce the cost they have in their marketing programs. So I think that the industry in general needs to find ways to get to the point where they can be more effective at what they do and the speed with which they turn things around to compete with other media, because as a printing industry, we don't just compete with other printers, we compete with other medias. I mean, here today we're talking, and here's a print publication company that's going to be putting this all over the web in different types of media. And so we need to recognize that in the world today, printing doesn't compete against other printers, we compete against other medias, and we need to find a way to be competitive and find value add against those other medias.
The greatest challenge in the industry is the business owners understanding who the customer is and how to most effectively reach them and market to them. It is changing and evolving so quickly with technology, social media, the web, and understanding how to take advantage of all of that is really a challenge for most of the businesses that we work with.
Well, I think the greatest challenge, both at a manufacturer level as well as a printer on their level, is that they need to continue to innovate and distinguish themselves from their competition. It's almost a time where everyone has to reinvent themselves. So from the manufacturer's point of view, our portfolio needs to continue to develop. It needs to heed the needs of all of our customers, and for our customers, they have to differentiate themselves with their competition so that the innovation and all of the things that they do propels them to new heights.
Well, I think the biggest challenge for the industry right now, strangely, is not a challenge inside the industry, it's the finance. I think every business has had to look very deep inside at how their cash flow is managed, where their cash is, how they handle inventory. And that's really hit the entire graphics business and made us look at, okay, what do we do about inventory? What do we do about credit to our customers? And what do we do about servicing the big clients that we have? And the big challenge the industry has had to come to terms with is the oil that ran that industry, cash, has become very, very tight over the last 12 months. And I'm not seeing that easing yet. The banks aren't happy to lend to the graphics industry right now. I think that's probably the biggest single threat we see challenging our customers right now.
Well, I think of the sign industry, our greatest challenge is shifting where our heads are at. Because, let's face it, we feasted on the economic boom of the last decade. I mean, what we have was in demand in a big way. And it was all we could do to answer the phone, take care of the people that were standing at our counter who needed things right now. And I think it got us almost completely reactive in how we market and communicate our business to our customers and our prospects. And that stopped because in particular what stopped is all of the real estate activity, and we did well with real estate in the last decade. And so all of that has dried up. And now we've got to do what a normal business does, and that is go out, proactively communicate with our accounts, with our customers, with our prospects about what their needs are, about what we can do for them, how we can be innovative with them. And while we are completely competent to do that, it's been so long as an industry, it's been so long since we had to do that, we're a little soft there. I think, and we need to muscle up that part of our game a little bit.
The biggest challenge Epson sees for the industry right now is just people wanting to not make investments in technology that will help them improve their process, their workflow, and allow them get to the customer satisfaction quicker. So for example, a lot of people, because of economic conditions, may be holding back buying a better, higher-end proofing system. So instead, they're using an outdated, older system that's giving them a lot of problems or is slow, whereas if they made an investment there to upgrade that equipment, they could turn around jobs quicker, get to press faster, make customers more excited about the work they're doing. So one of the challenges that we're seeing is that a lot of companies may be a little bit reluctant to want to upgrade some of their outdated technology, thinking they're saving money, and the reality is they're not.
I think right now it's the financing side of the business. The financial markets themselves have still not sorted themselves out. Financing is difficult for small entrepreneurs. And in 2010, they're starting to get busier. They're needing equipment, but they're having to use 2009 financials in order to try to get financing. And that's difficult because many 2009 financials for these customers don't look that attractive.
You know, I think there are really two challenges that we face right now. One more immediate, and the other one, I guess, more medium term, if you will. The immediate one, as I see it, is the risk of possible double-dip recession. Again, this trend we just talked about in terms of market improvement. I think if we hit another dip in the road, obviously, it can cause some difficulties. I think we're all resting a bit easier about that from a general economic situation, though, and I think we're less fearful of a double dip than we may have been. I guess beyond that, I think the next challenge is really around staying current with the rapid rate of technological change. You know, this whole conversion from analog print to digital print is accelerating exponentially, and I think that puts demand on print producers to better understand these new technologies, stay abreast of those technology improvements, educate themselves and make informed decisions. Also think though it's time to invest. We're in a bit of a low spot in the market. Generally those companies that invest today in these low spots come out stronger than those that kind of take a more conservative approach.
I think we have to remain viable to the brand holders. The ultimate source of money are people that advertise their products, and unless we remain viable to them by providing really good cost-effective solutions, we're not going to be used as much, and we'll lose those advertising dollars and to other advertising methods such as internet, television, radio, and etc. That means we've got to be efficient as an industry, and that means automating our systems and becoming much more efficient in producing our end goods.
Right now, machines, RIP software, everything changes so fast. You just have to pick something and stay with it. You know, if you're going to go solvent, if you're going to go flatbed, if you're going to go wholesale, if you're going to go retail, you just really have to find your own niche and stay with it. It's just the industry changes. There's a lot of good stuff, and just find your niche and keep growing.
Right now, the biggest challenge is overcapacity of digital output in the industry. There's a lot of wholesalers out there that have tremendous amount of capacity that they have to fill, which is driving pricing down for the rest of us in the industry because they're getting more aggressive on the prices that they're charging their customers to produce. So the biggest challenge is there's too many people in the industry all doing the same thing, going after the same work.
I think the greatest challenge right now is to see what the economic conditions are going to be. When it comes specifically with people who are looking to invest in printers or make any sort of financial commitments, you know, whether you can get the financing or, you know, whether the economy has come back. So, you know, right now with 10% unemployment, I think it's still very much a concern, and whether we're just stabilizing or versus whether we're actually starting to grow the business.
I think that the greatest challenge to the printing industry today is the fact that everybody has online pricing, and it's the commoditizing of the business. And most of the people that I have spoken to have found that this is a very, very dangerous thing. They no longer have the personal touch. People go online and they look for the cheapest price, and they really don't seem to care about the personalized service that helped build this industry in the first place.
We believe the greatest challenge that we're facing in our industry today really is price erosion and commoditization. We really need to fight that. We're not going to be successful as an industry if we really base our competitive advantage or competitive differentiation on price. We need to be looking at finding more valuable solutions to customers' challenges, looking at more innovative products and services, and finding a way to differentiate ourselves that way. The only way anybody can be successful in the price game is if they are truly the lowest cost producer, and there are very few of us out there that can be in that kind of a position.
I think that, you know, as we come out of an extremely difficult 18 to 24 months, the biggest challenge for us as a manufacturer, and I think for the industry as a whole, is managing the balance between investment, taking new risk, and the timing of that investment such that we don't get too far ahead which doesn't feel good at all given the challenges we've had, and yet not wanting to miss out on the opportunity to invest to grow the business.